day and welcome to another edition of Outsider Genie for our daily preview of the day's racing. Today we're racing from Greyville, the 19th of July. Before I start with the preview, just a few things I want you to take note of. We do now have a sponsor. It's called VYVO. They are a player in the artificial intelligence and the health and wellness sector. To know more about Vivo, I will put the link in the section below, so you can just click on the link to learn a bit more about Vivo. Then click on the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you can get notified when I post my new videos. Now, we all know we're now moving into social media. So Outsider Genie now has a Twitter handle. I'm on Instagram, and obviously I'm on WhatsApp. Now, one of the things that warms my heart is, Outsider Genie puts a lot of effort into, doing the selections and sometimes you don't get recognition. But I'm not looking for recognition. But when it comes your way, it is appreciated. So one of the people that's following me on my channel said yesterday, or I found this comment. I just wanted to let you know your tips are really good. You are very talented. I only discovered you 3 days ago. I just bet for fun, and I decided to follow your tips yesterday, and I caught the quartet in race 6. I won 2,000 rand. So to me, that's very good, and really, I appreciate it that people follow me and make a bit of money, because that is the whole purpose of my service. So, are you tired of being broke? Guys, I know a punter is always broke. You can never have enough money. There's always bills to pay, because I know how it works. Sometimes you need to pay a bill, but you decide, listen, I'm going to try this, or I'm going to win money, and I still have money, and I can pay the bill, and I've got money to play. I know how it works. I've been there, done that, got t-shirt. So if you're looking for a nice opportunity where you can earn extra money, you can do it part-time or full-time. I do have a very nice opportunity that you can look at. There's no startup cost required. So if you are interested, WhatsApp me on that number, 272941688, and I will contact you. Um, so what I would suggest, even if you listen to this video, is to subscribe to our services, guys. For the amount of money that I charge, but by just using my selections, you win that money back and 2,000 times more. Because what I give you a race by race selection, outright winner, and two possible outside selection. I give you value bets to play each way, normally 6-1. Um, you know, um, I give you the best bet of the day. I don't give you odds on. You can find that yourself. But to find outsider, that you need the genie for. So I have been giving best bets as high as 6-1. That has won. I give suggested trifecta and quartet selections, and my selections often wins. The biggest one so far was 17,000 rand, and the other day I can't remember which course. I took 3 quartets in a row, paying nicely. Yesterday at Kenilworth, I also took the quartet that paid nearly 6,000 rand. So also affordable PA. I recently gave a PA, and guys nearly won 3,000 rand with a 56 rand PA. I do pick sixes. I'm not normally more than 150 rand, 1%, and we have put some smaller ones. But the biggest one so far was for 100 rand layout. We got a payout for 9,000 rand. What I will do is, when I do my selections, when I post the video, in the comments section, I will leave the link. So there's a video that you can see how you can utilize and optimize my selections, so that you can win nice money with small layouts. There's a special offer leading up to the Durban July. You subscribe now. It's going to cost you 350 rand, but it's only actually 250, and then you will receive selections till the end of July. 100 rand of that will go towards we're building up a kitty where we're going to contribute. We're going to play a pick six, a PA, and a jackpot. Then I also want to mention that I've spoken to Piers Stradom, and he's agreed to give outside unit line race by race preview of the day's races. Guys, I don't normally phone to trainers, jockeys. I just don't do it. But I do really value P.S. Radom's input. He is a form analyzer. People likes to know what he says. So I've asked him to assist us, and he agreed. And I will do that, like a day or two before, so that you can, have a listen to it and do your selection. Um, on that day, I'm going to do a general preview on non-pixie exercises, which I will post on the groups, um, WhatsApp and Facebook, but only for the subscribers. I'm going to do a race by race preview of all pixie exercises, where I will discuss individual horses' chances. And in other words, there will be 6 videos per race: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, so if you want to subscribe, you can go to WhatsApp me on 083 And I just want to show you, if I do my selections, this is the report that you will receive. It will receive this one page where I'll have all my information. Obviously, for the July, I'm going to include the jackpot and a bipod as well for the sister guys. Here's all my selections, and then every day I do a small patent. You don't have to pay for much, and if it comes in, you're going to win handsomely. So that concludes that. So let's now move on to yesterday at Kenilworth. Now, as per normal, I don't tip on juvenile races. So the first 4 races yesterday was juvenile races. Then in the 5th race, I recommended Southern Star. When I did my selection, Southern Star wasn't the favorite, but I see he was back into third favorite later on. Then in race number 7, one of my outsider selections was Brave Tiger. I gave you Brave Tiger, and that duly won. I also tipped Green Jacket, and I also said, obviously, Aqua Bolt you need to include, and I strongly say that you need to put Bernie in the back end of your quartets, and therefore that quartet came in and paid R1,000. And Brave Tiger was like 7 to 1 around race time that you could get on the nice outsider selection. Then in race 8, my selections was number 7, Icon King, with my outsider selections number 3 and 1. I don't know how this happened, but Pink Floyd landed up being the third favorite at the end of the day. But when I did my selections, I think he was like 5 to 1 or something like that. Now, Icon King was also my value bet for the day, and I was surprised to see that horse paid £5 for a place. So if you took the each way as I recommend, you would have made a tidy sum of money for a small layout. And then also, if you listen to my video, you would have heard that I say in my video of yesterday, you can go and listen there, please, that I said you need to put barley rum in the back end of your quartets, which was barley rum back end. When I mean back end, I mean the last, the third and fourth, third and fourth. It did pay 340 a place. The exacta, which I gave you, 7 and 3, paid 83 rand. The trifecta 1,300. If you took that with barley rum included, and then the quartet was nearly 6,000 rand. Guys, I don't know many tipsters in South Africa that would have tipped you this. So yeah, thank you. I thank you for your. You can thank me later if you made some money on this selections. Then in the last race, my first selection, outright selection was regimental, and one of my destruction boy was one of my outsider selections. But I did tip you in my selections. I did tip you the trifecta and a quartet. So if you followed that, you would have also received a nice payout there. So that is then the yesterday's selections. So let's now move to today's racing at Greyville. Now, guys, I can tell you, I had a look at this card, and this card is going to be tough. If you're going to go and put down money today, you must really have them of brass, because I can tell you there's many horses with chances. But I'm going to start off with race 3, because race 1 and 2 is juveniles. But let's just look at the betting for the guys who's interested in the betting. Just waiting for this to open up. All right. Now let's quickly go. I'm gonna do the first two races for this guys who just interested in. Now here we have a typical thing which you will never see me do. This horse is 3 to 10. I say it's not that I say the horse can win. Definitely the horse can win. Fortune and Dumaya, but I've seen 3 to 10s got beaten. And the problem is to make money, you need to. I mean, let's say you need to put down $1,000 to make back 300 grand. Okay. So if this horse gets beaten, you're down $1,000 that you need to make up. It's just not for me. It's always better to try from quartets or exactas and things. But anyway, the magical flight 11 to 1, Umkumazi 13 to 1, bells and whistles 15 to 1. I remember last time out, I didn't do selections, but I say to the guys, I think that this horse was being proven and it actually ran second. 22 to 1, gone platinum, Carps Amazing 28 to 1. What a nice name. 28 to 1, Magic Lee 70 to 1. Eli's Fate and Song of Ice 50 to 1. Then 151, sorry. Then we go into race number 2. Here again, short favorite. Even money, Garolos, Royal Wolf, 33 to 10, 92 Willow Express, 92 Harlington Express, 18 to 1 Impartial, Storybook, 30 to 1, 35 to 1 Full Spiel, 66 and longer the rest. Number 6 being scratching. So let's look at race 3, number 1, Southern Crude, even money. La Nair 7 to 20. I see this is now coming. It was shorter yesterday. 15 to 2 Montreal Mist. 10 to 1 Be Happy. 12 to 1 Bella Ballerina Nikaya, and 16 to 1 and 20 to 1 and longer the others. So let's look at this race. Now, guys, again I see this number 5 is short in the beating. Now let's look here at this field. It says silent, the best weighted Silent Crusade linear. Montreal Must Be Happy, Nikaya. I will tell you this, I will not be rushing to take even money on Silent Crusade. That is a fact. It is a good horse, got a chance, but it's not a certainty, even money. I can tell you that now. This horse has won over this distance, but that was like in January last year, and then since then he's been competing over longer distances. Now, I've spoken to trainers before, and they told me that yes, a horse can be a sprinter, but then when you start putting it over distances, it is difficult to bring that horse back to sprinting. And I really found a horse which I think will be suited today to this, and this is number 5, Montreal Mist. This is a filly. Montreal Mist is a filly. I think this is for fillies. Let me just quickly make sure. Yeah, it's just fillies and mares, non-black type, and the class B, and the merit rating is 86. For those guys who are not familiar with how one of the things, when you look at this class B, and that's the average merit rating of the horses in this race. So when you want to, what you do is you take that and you compare that to in the ability rating of the horses that this horse has run against. So if you have a look at this horse, the ability rating of the horses he's run is 70, 82, 77, 76, 73, 71. So obviously, if you have a look at his horse, you'll see the rated rating is 86. So he's very much up in class, but he's only carrying 50 kilograms. Oh, I so wish that this Natal would go back to the things where the top weighted horses is number 1, but they work against the draw. And it makes it so difficult to sometimes do your selections because we are used to, the top 1 is the top weight, but now, all right, I'm not going to offer about that. So let's now move back to the selection that I was talking just now. Montreal Mist. Now, Montreal Mist, you see, we see that the average merit rating in that race was 87. So, or 86 actually. Now, this horse is run course on this course. He's run 2 times for a win and a second. Course and distance, 2 times, a win and a second. Now, this horse has been competing against much stronger opposition. a 97, 101, 99, and I really think that the 1,200 meters on the poly will be to his liking. There he won a nice race. That was last year. I think I wonder if it wasn't even this same race that he won last year. Because if I look at the date, it could have been the same race which he won last year, but I'm not sure. Then he's also beaten Springer of the Guru, which is not a donkey. There he runs against a very strong field, Mickey New, but only 2.5 lengths behind. I mean, you had horses in there like Symphonico, and then there was another horse that I can't remember the name of it, which is also the favorite. And that, so he didn't run too bad behind. No, 2.5, second fastest 400 to finish over 1,000 meters, and I think the 200, 1,200 meters will suit him. So I am thinking that Larina on this horse definitely the horse to beat. Then other horses that you can look at in this race, and please guys, I don't say Southern Crusade cannot win. It's Southern Crusade. If you have a look at here, he's also been running against stronger opposition. Oh, Susanna, there, I don't know what happened there. Tough jump, lost jockey, lost jockey. Generous lady, waiting for change, Royce Rivera, pretty and pink, but all over longer distances. So he is in with a chance and he can win the race, but I just feel that, I might have a egg after the race on my face. So it's one of those things. Another horse that I want to talk to you about is Be Happy. It's also, as a matter of fact, also a crusade. But this horse, he's ran 9 times on this course, 2 wins, a second and 2 thirds. So, but he hasn't run course and distance yet. But I think the 1,200 meters will suit this horse. If they don't go too fast, I don't know what happened here last time on the poly midfield, but a nice outsider that you can include into your play. Then another outsider that I want to talk that you can also put in like in the back end of your quartets. I don't think the horse can win this race. As a matter of fact, it's another crusade. My goodness, I only noticed it now. This horse, if you did look at this, he's run against Montreal Mist. So if I recommend Montreal Mist, then this horse carrying 50. If you look what he was carrying against Montreal Mist, this horse should actually finish in front of Montreal Mist. So there's no way I couldn't recommend this horse if I recommended Montreal Mist, because on weight turnaround, this horse is carrying 50. Montreal Mist is carrying 56, so there's a big difference in weights. So High Delilah, I would have definitely include in the back ends of my quartets. I'm not sure if you've got ability to win the race, but I mean, you're looking for horses to put in your quartet to make it pay, and this is a nice one. All right, so that is race 3. I'm now going to move on to race number 4, which is a non-black type, 1,200 meters, class B, merit rating 92. Guys, and I just wanted to repeat, today, I mean, I studied long and hard for this card, but in some races, I really battled to make up my mind to find a winner. So if I were you today, I'll just, just play safe. I see there's a scratching here. Enjoy the view. 18 to 10, Ishana. 5 to 2, Filippo. Inkahoots, 11 to 2. At Altasima, 13 to 2. Double Espresso, 10 to 1. Winterjill, 10 to 1. The Sands, 12 to 1. And Chatterton's Keeper, 20 to 1. So let's look at the betting of the ratio. Now, there's just some users information I want to give you, but I would like to share this with you. You see this stallion Al McDum. Unfortunately, well, I had a farm in Vodacom where the late Lenny Taylor was a manager, and he managed to get us this stallion from Michael de Kock. Unfortunately, due to circumstances out of my control, I lost the farm. The farm was bought by Roy Moodley. But then Mr. Smith came along, and he liked Al McDum, and he gave Lenny a few horses, and they bred. This is one of the horses that they bred out of Al McDum. Okay, so so it has got a little bit of a soft spot, with me. But this is just some news information. Let's look at some horses. Ishana, If we look at the merit rating again here, ability rating class B, merit rating 92. Ishana is definitely, has been running in this class, been winning in this class. If you look at the history, Ishana, he's got 9 runs on this course, 1 win, 1 second, and 3 thirds, fourths. Course and distance, 4 runs, 1 win, and 2 fourths. So the horse likes this distance, but I do think that there is another horse that I like, that I think it can win the race. I want to look at number 6 out at Altissima. This is my selection to win this race. This horse is super consistent. This horse has had 10 runs, and he's only been out of the placing once, and that was in the future last year with African Warrior won. But before that, he's always there. He's always finishing well. He's always in the places, and I think today could be his day at Altissima. Today could be his day, definitely. So let's have a look at a few other horses in this race. Number 1, the Sands coming. Alexander is bringing down a few horses. Unfortunately, this horse is carrying only 50, but it's carrying 2 kilograms overweight, so it's carrying 52. But it has run and won on this course. Only course and distance was with this distance, although it's not in the best weighted column. But I think with the scratching, I've enjoyed the view. This horse will definitely have a better chance. So do include into your play the Sands. Then another horse I want to look at is number 9 in Cahoots. Also just carrying 55. Definitely in with the chance. I think Terry has got a few nice horses today. Lyle Hewitson riding, and has been running against Stronger. Ran again at Altissima on the poly here. There was a half kilogram in difference. Now Inca Hoods is carrying 55, and at Ultima is carrying 53. So there's 2 kilograms in difference. So on paper, at on this at Altissima should now finish in front of Inca Hoods again. Because okay, it was 2.6. It should finish much closer and can actually win the race. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you look at what this horse has run against, one times Chief of State Warrior Race won a Grade 1 the other day. So definitely in with a very, very big chance. So let's move down now to race number 5. Race number 5 is a maiden plate. I'm not sure why they're throwing the maiden plate at race 5. Maybe you should have put that in race 3 or 4. But okay, I don't do the program. So let's look at the betting for race 5. Race 5, Lord of the Manor, 7-2, 5-1 the field, 12, Lady of Latuya, Till Me, 11-2, 5-2 Black, 13-2, Yucat's Dance, 9-1, The Appeal, 11-1, Red Hot Night, 13-1, Grey Lagari, 14-1, Instinctive Power, 14 and 53 to longer. Guys, I can just tell you that this is one of the races that I've spent a lot of time, and I don't normally spend a lot of time on maiden plate because there's always this 1 or 2 horses that stands out on the maiden plate. But I really battled to pick a winner there. But let's look at a few horses. Number 1, The Appeal. I really think that this horse is going to be improved. It comes off a long rest. So if it wasn't for that, I would have really recommended it strongly. But do include The Appeal into your play. I feel that this horse, the race might have given him a chance to mature. It is a 4-year-old, only had 2 runs and 1 batted trial run. So do include in all your play. What is the betting on it currently? The Appeal currently is 11-1, not a bad price. So then number 2, Tully, Paul Gatsby. This horse improved after the race, running 1.7 lengths behind Thomas Henry. Second fastest 400 to finish. Definitely nice draw. One to include into your play. Then there's a few horses with chance at Lord of the Manor. He's the favorite. Also have a nice chance. Finished well last time. So want to include in the play. And as I said, there's a few of them. Grey Lingard is one of these horses that can come and surprise. Lyle Hewitson riding. It is 14 to 1 in the betting, but I think Paul Lafferty have another horse, but it is significant that he got Lyle Hewison to ride this horse. You know, Lyle has got the ability to improve a horse by at least 1 or 2 links. Then here we have a 2-year-old Instinctive Power. This ran fourth last time behind Thomas Henry, but I just feel that this 3-year-old is going to be too strong, and even the 4-year-old. It's just a little bit of advice that I've learned in my years after, you know, all of it. When you have a 2-year-old maiden running against 3 or 4-year-old maiden this time of the race, if the if the if the 2-year-old is got, you know, like great ability, then it will beat a normal average maiden. But if the 2-year-old is also just like an average maiden and he runs against the average 3-year-old maiden, 8 out of 10 times the average older horse will win the race. Yakuta's Dance also improved last time. I remember I tipped it as an outsider last time out. It did improve to run third, but also 6 links behind, so can still improve. And with Warren Kennedy and the Van Sales, always a danger. Then Fight to Brag has been thereabouts, can also. Okay. Guys, then I want to give you this horse. I mean, you might be thinking this guy is off his rockets to, to give this horse, but I've seen this type of horse. It's 33 to 1. This trainer, Nathan Cotson's stable is in form, and this horse has shown some nice here and there. It had a few good runs. Last time out was running third for fastest 400. There it was on a 1600 meter on Scottsville, fastest 400 to finish. Gumedia riding -2.5. Definitely a horse that you would want to include into your quartets and trifectas and everything. I don't say this horse can win at 33 to 1, but I mean, it's not always about the winning. It's about getting this type of horse into the quartet, and then you can stand in a payout queue, collecting your money, laughing and thanking Outsider Genie for showing you this outsider. So, and that's what I do. I try and find outsiders, and as I said to you before, I've got pointers that I look at, and this horse just looked like this horse is going to be improved. I'm still have my doubts about this Stallion Lingari, but he's thrown some nice winners, and this is a Ford with me. So I think definitely a huge horse with a chance to be placed today. We then move on to the next race, which is race number 6, which is the KwaZulu-Natal Breeders' Mile, non-black type, Class A, rating 107 over the 1600 meters. So let's look at the betting here. Yeah, we've got Nexus 2 to 1, 11 to 2, Chimes, 6 to 1, Mississippi Burning, Ronnie's Candy 6 to 1, Matador Man 6 to 1, the Reviews 14 to 1, Master Keys 20 to 1, Running Brave 20 to 1, 25 Kelder, and longer the rest. So let's have a look. Guys, this is also a race I really battled to make up my mind. It's a Class A 107. Let's look at the best weighted column. It says here Chimes, Ronnie's Candy, Mississippi Burning, Matador Man, Running Brave. Now, unfortunately, I cannot discuss some of the horses, but I'll just discuss some of them. Mississippi Burning, 4 wins in a row. Yeah, today is drawn 2. It's well drawn. Will this horse win another one? Time will tell. Not a horse to exclude in your play. The Arrive, this horse is also run against some huge, strong runners. I mean, you look at Terra del Piego, that horse finds himself in the July today. You know, Divine Odyssey finds himself in the July over the next weekend. So this is the type of horse that, you know, it's 14 to 1. It can surprise, always there and thereabouts. Only had 1 run in a poly where it didn't show anything that was here behind below 2.35. So can come in and maybe surprise by running a place. Triumphs is also a horse that has been competing against, you know, we'd like to look at the average merit rating in this race was 107. Now you're looking here 114, 111, you know, the beat Divine Odyssey close behind the wine. So definitely the horse in with a very huge chance. Rougelet, I did gave last time out, but I think in this race today he'll be a little bit outclassed. Teravadas is scratching. Here we get to Nexus. Nexus 59.5 on the back. This horse has been running against the thing that bothers me about Nexus, and that's why I didn't place him first. Okay, he's run against some really good opposition, but I just feel that some of the other horses has run against much stronger opposition. I don't say the horse can't win. This Korean snake is a very potent combination. Um, but yeah, if this horse wins today, well, then good luck, and then he's a good horse. But I don't say he cannot win, but the opposition is going to be strong. And yeah, definitely Ronnie Scandal did surprise last time. I tipped it at, last time out. It beat Queen Supreme. Queen Supreme ran third. Um, this is definitely, and St. Gray, he's come to this meeting for the Natal breeders, and he's won a few races. So he will not be bringing this horse just to, make up the field. It's definitely in a big race jockey, Grant van die Kerk. He normally rides well on big races, so Ronnie Scandal definitely in with a chance. I think Lakener is a class, and then I want to get to Matador Man. This horse won this race last year. Yeah, you can see it, and it was drawn 3 out of 5, so there wasn't much competition. But this horse has got a nick to jump slow. But I've seen lately he has improved. And if you look here, guys, Terra del Fuego, July, Cerrello, very good horse. Bunker Heart running in July. Rainbow Bridge running in July. Any horse that runs 3.6 lengths behind Rainbow Bridge. So, guys, I think the horse to beat, I mean, look, your undercover agent, do it again. There again, Raymond Bridge, this horse, Matador Man, currently 6-1. I really think this is the horse to beat in this race, and I have therefore recommended it as my the winner of this race. Then I just want to bring you in Master Keys. Master Keys, although he's been running against, but this horse is so consistent. He's always there and thereabouts, finishing well. Look at this. Third fastest, fastest 400, fastest 400, fastest 400, second fastest 400, second fastest 400, fastest 400. Look at those times. You cannot leave this horse out of any play. And the nice thing is about it's 20-1. I couldn't believe my eyes. 20-1. What an outsider. You need to keep this horse played outside, play it each way. This horse can win this race. I know it's out on the weights a little bit, but I have seen horses which are out of the weights by 10 or 20 kilograms and they still win the race. I can't give you things now, but definitely horse that I will not leave out of anything. My pick sixes, quartets, everything. Put this horse in, and you're gonna thank me later. Master Keys, 20-1 in the betting. Wow. Right. Then we move on to race number 7, which is the Track and Ball Oaks. That was one of the races that got abandoned last week when they had that fiasco at Scottsville. Class A 102, 2,400. Let's look at the betting. Where we have Chitinga 14-10, for Meander 9-2, Ballet Shoes 9-2, Kelpie 11-2, Return Flight 15-2, Pritchie by far 11-1. Seville Orange was the horse who won this race last year, but that then was at Scottsville. Now it's at Greyville. Total different story. 20-1, 33-1, and longer the rest. So let's look at the field. Now, if we look at the best handicap, 7 Kelpie, Royce Rivera's a scratching, Chitingo for Meander, Ballet Shoes. Now, I think, to me, this race is going to be not a 2-horse race, but I think the finish will be fight out between Pomeander. This run well behind Summer Pudding. It has had one bad race. I don't know what happened there, but it ran in the Oaks trial, and then it ran in the Oaks behind Summer Pudding. We all know how good Summer Pudding is, and so definitely I think a horse that is going to definitely be involved in the finish. And then number 5, Chitingo. Very well. This horse stays all day. It's the mare is by Moncho. The Monchu one. I mean, has won very a lot of races, and I think the further the better for this horse. Has won over 2,400 before, so definitely I don't think I think this horse will definitely be with a huge chance. So other horses that you can look at to include um, number 11, Ballet Shoes. This is a progressive 3-year-old, still learning, carrying 56. Also ran behind Summer Pudding in the Oak, ran third, coming from behind, stayed on, so can also be involved in the finish. Dynasty Blossom scratching, the voice of her scratching. A horse that you can maybe you want to include in your backends of your quartets is this number 8, Coral Bay. Sometimes it run good races, sometimes bad races, but maybe today this horse is bred for this distance ideal world out of a port with me. So can surprise currently in the betting at 33 to 1. Another horse that I just wanted to look at, he's not Kelpie. I'm not sure whether this horse is going to do the distance, but breeding it should. But I think that the other two will be stronger and finished 4 lengths behind Summer Pudding. But I really think the other ones will be the stronger that I mentioned, number 1 and number 3. There's also I want to quickly want to mention 2 horses. Return Flight has won over longer distances, but it's now 442 days since the race. But can pop anytime. But maybe only look for the placings today. I'll be surprised if it wins this race, but it's not without a chance. And then Fritchie by far. This horse, she runs always a hard out. He's won over longer distances. He's always a trier. Definitely a horse to include in your play. Now let's move on to race number 8, where we have a KwaZulu-Natal Breeders' Stakes 1600 fillies a mare, 1600 meters, Class C, merit rating 82. So let's look at race 8. The betting. Jijonia Rose 5 to 2, Spirit of the Groove 5 to 2, Just Kidding 5 to 1, Liquid Irish 8 to 1, Marmalade 18 to 1, Arizona Sunset 14 to 1, Abelia 14 to 1, 14 to 1, Alfonso Baby, 33 Ruby Slivers, and 50 Call Me Tonight. Mission Beach is a scratching. So let's look at this race 8. Remember we said Class C 82. Now, one of the horses that I fancy strongly for this race is number 1, Just Kidding. It's drawn 1. It's Alexander, the trainer. And this horse has run some really decent races. It ran second to 7 Patriots. 7 Patriots came out and won again at the Val the other day. No, it ran a little bit behind Summer Pudding, but I think the distances will be more to this horse liking today. We're talking here, it's just a 1600 meters. I think the 1600 meters will suit Just Kidding better. Won the maiden easily, but only has won 1 race. But I do feel that this horse, Lyle Hewitson today, is going to pick up a nice put up a nice performance, and it's currently 5 to 1. Arizona Sunset has run some good races here and there, but I think there are 1 or 2 that's stronger than Arizona Sunset. Number 3, Georgina Rose, nice filly. Has had 8 runs, 3 wins on the poly, ran 4 times, 2 wins and a third. Always there and there involved. So last time out ran Refugee behind Mississippi Burning. Now it is a little bit down in class because we're 82, and with Marcus on can be involved in the finish. Abelia used to race in Gauteng, but now the Garen van Zyl Junior stable, Boozy Yeni riding, has run some fair races and it looks like to me that this horse last year this time She won this race. If you look at the other course, I think it's this one here. She actually won this race with Muji Uni on board, beating a liquid iron. So look for a video to repeat. But unfortunately, her recent form isn't too inspiring. At that time, she was running good races. So yeah, I doubt it if she can win it again today. But there's always this thing that the horses I've seen many times. They won a race and then they never win, and then 365 5 days later they win again. So that hopefully, I'm not sure if that is going to be a factor today. 5 Alfonso Baby has just won the maiden, uh, but I feel this horse has not run too badly in the maidens, and won, a little bit cozily last time out. And even though it was hanging in, Warren Kennedy takes the ride. He knows the horse, and a nice horse to include into your quartets and trifectas currently at 14 to 1. Here we are, a Spirit of the Groove, Lorena on board. This horse has run against also some good horses in the past. Definitely have got the ability to win this race, not to leave out of any calculations. Then I also want to look at this horse, Marmalade. Those horses look like she's maturing well. Marmalade won a maiden and then came back after the rest and won again, which is, normally for a maiden to do that is a bit tough, but the horse really surprised me. And yeah, it won well, keeping up second fastest 400 to finish. And this horse can definitely be involved in the finish. So then we move to race number 9, which is the new period that was in our top readers. 1600 meters over 1600 meters class C, minute race in 81. So let's look at the betting league. We have number 3, Hell for a Ride, 3 to 1. Boss Car, 6 to 1. Caliente, 7 to 1. Tightman, 10 to 1. Stop for Nothing, 10 to 1. Final at 10 to 1. Venetian, 10 to 1. And 14 to 1 a longer rest. Also a tough race for the last race, for the last leg of the Pick 6. And let's look at a few selections that we have here in this race. Number 1, Boxcar. This horse is already a 6-year-old, 21 wins, 21 run, 4 wins. It's always there and thereabouts. And we've drawn one like Hewitson, definitely in with a huge chance. The only drawback is this horse always come from behind, and sometimes it is always too late. If you look at it, fastest 400 to finish in all the races bar the second last race. And yeah, if this horse, we just want to make sure that this is on the turf or the poly, because they got mixed. This is on the poly. It might be that this horse runs out of real estate at the end of the day. It has run over the poly, 2 runs, never placed or anything. So be careful for that, because that's what I saw is that the poly. That was, I think it was also last year, the same race over a shorter distance, running on at 5 to 1. But if Lyle Hewitson can get his horse placed up early and he doesn't have to come from so far behind, definitely a player in this division. Forest Jump won a maiden last time. I think they are also stronger in this race. Hell for the Ride is a favorite. It ran second, 2 rings behind Christopher Robin. Now over the 1600 meters. I just think that the 1600 meter might be a little bit short, although it won its maiden, beating 7 Patriots, who has won 2 races since over the 1600 meters. So yeah, you'll have to watch this horse, but it is a worthy favorite, but it's not the one that I'll be running to the bookmakers, showing my money and screaming, I want to take the odds. Like they did in the old race, it is free. In the old days, it is 3 to 1. So, yeah, let's look at some more horses. Stop for Nothing, Lingari out of a Solskjaer mare. Yeah, I think it has got a chance. That went nicely last time. was a little bit down in class, I did pick that up, and I did remember that was my best bet of the day, which I gave the guys, and the horse Beauty won. Now running against a little bit stronger, but I don't think without a chance, so include in your quartets and so on. Then Venison also have a chance. Has been running against stronger there behind Gigi Dynasty. So in with a chance, maybe including your quartets. This What a Blast, I think What a Blast is coming to form, but it will win in a lower division. Caliente with Sean Wheel on board. All right, this horse has had some limited success, has won 4 races on the poly course and distance, 3 run, 2 wins. Definitely a contender, a horse that you cannot leave out. Last time around behind Span left team, so definitely include into your play. Then here guys, I've given you an outsider today. This is my recommendation for first place. This horse Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock has been knocking on the door, has been running against some decent opposition, always runs from behind. And today I think this might be a very good outsider. Each way play, Plymouth Rock, race 9, Muzieni. Only the draw concerns me a bit, but on the outside, on the poly, you can get away with a wide draw because they always swings wide into the straight, and then the horse lands up against the outside rail, you know, making their run. This is also a horse that runs on from the back. I watched it the previous race behind, running on. So definitely a horse to include in your selections. Then we move to race number 10, KwaZulu-Natal Breeders 1900 meters, Class B 88. Let's look at the betting. Here we have Christopher Robin 7-2, Indigo 15-4, Pulse of Victory 11-2, 13-2, Master Magic Throng 8-1, Pollard 10-1, Before Noon 10-1, 12-1 The Buyer, 12-1 Ninchaka, Tom Bombadil, and some Samsonite. Now, when I saw this this race, I immediately thought, here it is, number 1, Christopher Robin, my best bet for the day. Panikak riding, draw 1. This horse has got class. It won some decent races. It ran against some decent other horses, and I think this is the horse to beat. As I said before, St. Gray has come onto this meeting and has won numerous races. I remember the one day in 2 of the races, he had the first 2 past the post in both races on one day, and that doesn't often happen. So I really think the horse to beat, number 1, Christopher Robin. There are other horses with chances. As we said, Class B rating 88, and let's look at some number 3, the Buyer. I also like this. Has been running against us a little bit stronger. Has been placed currently, I think it's 20-1 or something like that. The Buyer is where's 10, the Buyer 12-1. Sorry, I think it's good value, and I'll definitely be involved in the finish. Pollard was also a horse that's often placed and win. You can include that into your play. Then another horse that I want to look at is number 5, Frong. Frong is also one of those horses, you know, it always runs on from behind. Look, 400 to finish now, first, second, fastest 400, fastest 400. Then something happened, this horse went off the boil, came back after a race and then never improved. And then all of a sudden it started improving today. Lyle Hewitson, draw 5, definitely a horse that will give Christopher Robin a hard time. Before Noon, last time out, I recommended that and it won cozily. That horse loves the Greyville track, the Scottsville track. He just had a few wins there. So definitely now on the poly, I just had 2 runs on the poly, but I didn't show much. So this was at Scottsville. I would have definitely, recommended this horse. And then also um, the distance that looks to me that before noon is now liking the more longer distances. 7 Indigo, she's out of that very well made. Go Indigo used to be trained by the late Leon Erasmus. And yeah, Indigo is always a thereabout, always plays bad Shango. Shango finds itself in the July. 7 Patriots won again. Full Master, good horse. So also one of the horses that will definitely go close against beating Christopher Robin. But I do think Christopher Robin will have a measure, but only time will tell. In Path to Victory, also a horse that is sometimes is really, most of the times involved in a finish. Might be looking for a little longer distance, but has been won over this course and distance. So do include into your play Paths of Victory. Namcha, also a horse that you can follow, and it's always there and thereabouts. So that concludes it. But before we go, I just want to quickly mention a few things about our sponsor. Our sponsor, VYVO, is offering this business opportunity. You can be the owner of your own global artificial intelligence business. Artificial intelligence is impacting the future of virtually every industry and every human being. Healthcare and wellness are the fields where AI is going to have the biggest impact. VYVO now offers you a business opportunity where you don't have to pay any upfront fees. A very exciting concept being launched, first of its kind, not seen in South Africa before. VYVO are now in pre-launch stages at Africa and needs persons to assist with pre-launch and be trained as team leaders in order to assist in building and training teams for the launch phase. The opportunity offers you the fastest growing markets worldwide, great products with real market demand, customer referral program free to join, a lucrative compensation plan, and the most exciting instant bonuses. For more information, WhatsApp to 061 231 0193 for VYVO business opportunity. And then just lastly, VYVO has just now launched a new watch called new VYVO Watch Lite. Artificial intelligence at work. For more info, you can WhatsApp that number and just say VYVO Watch Lite info. And here are some of the features of what the watch can do. So should you need more information, please contact us. Contact that number via WhatsApp and you will receive information about the product and the opportunity. We thank you for watching our live presentation today. We hope you have a very great day. Thank you, and as I always say, bye, colleague.